Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who actually objected to our weddings. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. Groom found out that bride was cheating 2 days before the wedding day. He spilled the beans while exchanging the vows. Good on him, but holy moly. That's freaking sad. About to get married and then you find out the love of your life cheated on you 2 days before the wedding day? Why would you agree to marry someone if you're cheating on them? That's stupid. My uncle was getting married, small, just a handful of family and a minister. I was videotaping. My grandmother was not into it at all. With each line spoken by the minister, she had a cutting, sarcastic response. I could not believe it. It was so unlike her. When that part came up, she said, I object, but does it really matter? They're going to do it anyway. The minister just ignored her and proceeded, business as usual. They were divorced within a year. Wish I had a copy. The grandma knew, hey? I do feel like some people just know that a couple's going to get divorced like a couple years later, for sure. Or it could be the other way around, where the grandma is the one who made them break up. Because seriously, if you have a crazy mother-in-law who's like always in everything, that's gonna piss someone off for sure. Yeah, the marriage is gonna be tough. I had a friend who was a minister and the subject came up if he asked the question during ceremonies he officiated. He laughed and said no way. He basically tells the couple not to include it because it only invites a moment of anxiety at best, misery at worst. His best story, and one of the reasons he stopped including the question, was a couple where the lead up to the wedding, the couple was obviously in love. The bride-to-be was very smiley and happy. Day of the wedding, she's stone-faced. He knows something is up because he's never seen her like this, and he asks if she's okay. I'm fine. Right before the service, he asks again, I'm fine. He gets to the question, does anyone object to this union? The bride reaches over, grabs the maid of honor, shoves her into the bride's spot and says, you're screwing him, you marry him, and then stormed out of the church. Oh my goodness, how often does this happen? Why is it always the maid of honor or the bridesmaid screwing the freaking groom? What the hell? And why is it I always find out like right before the wedding? It's because I feel like one of the side pieces always tries to make it known. Like, I'm doing it with him. Do you still want to go on with the wedding? Because he's mine. I feel like that's what happens. Maybe I just watched too many dramas, but still. I was at one where the groom thanked the bride's ex for dying as his loss was my gain. Didn't help the sons of the bride and ex were in attendance. What the hell? I would not marry someone like that, honestly. Like, okay, if the love of my life died, right, and then I found love with someone else, and then that person, this is my ex, who was only my ex because he died, yeah, I would not be marrying that person. No way. That's rude. That's so disrespectful. A friend of mine has a band that plays lots of weddings and other parties. They were hired for a birthday party that turned out to be a surprise wedding. The guy surprised his girlfriend with a proposal and wanted to have a wedding ceremony then and there. She said no and left. Dang. This is why I hate public proposals. Like, if you're gonna do a public proposal, at least guarantee the answer. Like, there's no way you're gonna do a public proposal and then get rejected because you don't even know your partner's answer. Like, really? Only propose to someone when someone is ready to get married to you and you guys have been talking about it. Not if you don't know the freaking answer. One of my cousins is married to literally one of the kindest and coolest dudes I have ever met. Before the wedding, her little sister was saying how she's marrying my best friend. At the wedding, when the priest dude asks if anyone objects, the room is dead quiet and all you hear is a little girlish whisper, I do. It was honestly really adorable and we all laughed, and my cousin's husband and her little sister are still best friends. Oh, that's freaking cute. I went to a wedding where the best man was replaced a week before because he banged the bride, but the wedding still went ahead, just with a different best man. They are divorced now. How stupid do you have to be to still marry someone that cheated on you? What? Like, get out of there when you can. Are people really that dumb? They're like, oh, you cheated on me and we're about to get married. You know what? Let's get married first and then we'll fix the problem later. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Like, no one was there to like try to stop them. None of their friends. No one. Honestly, like, if that was my friend and she still wanted to marry someone, I would not let her do that. I'll be with her 24/7, just telling her, you should not marry him, you should not marry him. I wouldn't even let her sign the papers. Hell no. This was in America, and the wedding was in a Buddhist temple. Parents of the groom stood up and objected because they didn't believe the bride was of the same class. They spoke in another language, so most of the English-speaking guests didn't know they were objecting. My husband was the best man, and those closest to the couple knew this might happen. The Buddhist priest said he would handle it if the parents tried anything. After the parents spoke for a while, the priest said to the groom, "You've heard what your parents had to say. What do you want to do?" The groom replied, "I want to marry my bride." So the priest asked the parents to leave. At this point, the rest of the guests are cluing in that this was not a nice part of the ceremony, and that the parents were actually objecting. So as the parents walked out, some of the guests were berating them, saying things like, "You should be ashamed of yourself, and how could you do that?" And even though the groom was not happy with his parents, that was very hard for him to hear. That was 30 years ago. The couple is still married. They have 2 beautiful, successful children. After the groom's mom passed away, the groom's father came around and was involved in their lives until he died. Wow. Sometimes the biggest freaking hurdle in your marriage are your parents, or his parents or her parents. Like, geez, freaking crazy. I just don't ever get why parents think they have so much control over the adult kid's life. Like, they're an adult. Stop freaking doing this to your kids, controlling someone and not allowing them to marry someone because you don't think that's good for them. Well, let them find out themselves, because if they don't ever experience it, they're just going to be regretting it their whole life and they're going to go crazy. Like, who cares if the person is not of the same class? What, just because you find someone of the same class, does that mean they're going to be a great person? No, they might even be worse. They might even kill you. Who knows? Honestly, you never know. A woman in her 20s at the time objected to her mum marrying my uncle, so she started yelling, "Mum, don't marry him," during the ceremony. The ceremony proceeded, and some family on the mum's side led the daughter away to quit interrupting. I don't blame her. My uncle was a lying, lazy bastard. The marriage didn't last. Oh my god. Probably because the uncle was never involved in like the family, never really tried to get close to the kid. At my cousin's, the bride's ex showed up, and when he stood up to object, my uncles grabbed him and bum rushed him out of the church and gave him a tune-up in the parking lot. Catholic wedding, of course. Oh my god, I thought this only happened in movies, When the ex comes and shows up and they're like, "I object. You can't marry him because I am the love of your life." My mother passed away about 15 years ago. 5 years later, my dad married my now stepmother. It was an outdoor wedding on a beautiful sunny day, and during the spot where they usually ask if anyone objects, a big gust of wind came out of nowhere and knocked over some tables. Afterwards, multiple people came to tell me that wind gust was my mother objecting, which I like to believe was true. Oh, the mother was like, "Hell no, you ain't gonna love anyone after me." Honestly though, I would believe that too, to be honest. It's just something that's nice to believe, to know that someone who died still has a presence in this world. A relative visited one ceremony where it was asked if anyone objects, and the groom decided it's a good time for a joke and said, "I do." The lady who was going to marry the couple just turned and left. They had to go through all the paperwork again and change the date. Got married, divorced in like 3 years if I remember correctly. Imagine joking at a time like that though. Like, that's so serious. You're just gonna make the bride doubt you? Like, who does that? Who's like, yeah, I object. I actually don't want to marry her. Just kidding. Dude, that is so stupid. I was the best man at my bestie's wedding. Someone that we tolerated in our friend group objected and said he was in love with the bride and that he was the only one that could make her happy. She had been nice about his feelings until then and reminded him in front of the entire ceremony that A, he couldn't hold down a job because he had too big of an ego, B, didn't get along with her friends because they all had something they were working on, a book, a career, a trip, a volunteer job, and he had nothing, so he constantly tried to downplay their accomplishments on purely presumptuous ideas, and C, his idea of sex was blow me and I'll finger you, night hun. She was way more thorough and more cruel, and it was a hysterical 5-minute ordeal. I mean, he had it coming. He got up and left. I was pretty sure he was crying as he walked away, but no one went after him. It was both brutal and hilarious. Wow. Wow. The fact that he had the balls to just do that at their wedding. Like, it was just like a one-sided love. And his ego is so big that he's like, I'm the only one who can make you happy. That's funny because she's not marrying you, is she? Like, seriously, some people are just delusional. Are you kidding me? The mum of the bridesmaids got up and yelled, "Yeah, I object. You stole him from her," while pointing at the bride. "I've known the groom for a long time, and by proxy the bride. I'm still very good friends with him. I have never seen her more infuriated than at that moment." The bridesmaid got up from her chair and was like, "I'm so sorry. Let me get out of here." The bridesmaid and the bride's stepfather escorted the woman out of the wedding, and it continued. What the heck? What is wrong with the mum? So I'm assuming the bridesmaid was in love with the groom but couldn't say anything because you know the groom is marrying her best friend or something, and she doesn't want to ruin anything for them, so she's just keeping it inside, and it's just going to be something that she's going to have to live with, seeing someone that she loves marry someone else. But she's not going to ruin their wedding because she's not a terrible person. But I'm guessing she told her mum, and then her mum got mad for her and embarrassed her like that in front of everyone. Some people don't know how to think, I swear. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!